doing it and
doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
What time is it, Charles?
It is
Now
right now.
time.
What
Yes,
y'all?
it is. Hello, my loves.
Hello, hello. Welcome. Greetings.
Greetings.
To paradise.
I'm breathing it in still.
Woo.
We have chocolate third eyes. Let's show them our chocolate third eyes. Can you see? Chocolate.
Look at this.
Chocolate.
So we
chocolate.
see nothing but sweetness.
It's so true. So much that chocolate is seeping from our third eyes. And that's all we see.
Oh my gosh. Sweetness everywhere you look.
Hotness, sexy overload, goodness everywhere. It's so good to be back in Cali. I told him, I'm like, it's hotness overload everywhere. I've been in third world countries. I'm like, damn.
She's getting a neck ache from rubbernecking. Like, what the who? Hey.
Sexual creation energy, which is something we're kind of talking about. Maybe. You never know. We could go anywhere, right?
Oh, it's going to get there. It's going
I
there.
think it always happens. So Charles and I were talking about anti-aging, or as we like to say, just getting younger every day, because anti-aging is putting in your mindset something that's not necessarily...
Anti just has a vibration that doesn't work with me.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So it's getting younger every day. So when I met Charles, I thought he was like 27. And I remember thinking, oh, dude's so young for me. And then we were at my house at the Magical Manifestation Mansion for the event, and someone asked you how old you were and how young you are, and you said...
Don't tell.
What?
Don't tell. See if they can guess.
Oh,
See
guess.
if you guys can guess how old I am. How young I am.
How young Charles is. Okay, and so I have had the same experience. We were talking about the funniness, like when I was in the hospital with Sky, you know, every doctor came and was like, are you his sister? And I'm like, no, I'm his mother, you know. And then when we're in third world countries or traveling, Sky always gets asked if I'm his hermana. And he's like, no, she's me mama. He's like, and he always sees like the guys checking me out, and he's always like, he throws his arm up around me. And then I look like the people look at us, and sometimes I'm walking with Sky and I'm like, I think they're kind of like, is that a couple?
Checking it out.
You know, with she looks a little bit, but you know, I could almost get away with it, right? So
it's a compliment.
Yeah, that's what I told Sky. I was like, hey, baby, it's just a compliment. Mama looks good.
He gets all upset about it, though.
Not really, but he's just like, no. Well, I guess we talked it out, and he was like, it's because I think people are gonna think you had me when you're like 12, which I didn't. I had him when I was 23. So, you know, that was his blockage around it. Now he's like, okay, it's cool. It doesn't matter what people think. My mom's young and hot. It's great. So, yeah.
Accepted.
Yeah. So Charles is actually older than me.
True story.
And I was like, Charles is like 27. And then you're not. You're not, right? Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I get that a lot. And if I shave and put on a baseball cap, I can...
Done. Yeah, this adds a... Do your what's the dude's name?
Perhaps.
Yes, there you go. That.
Perhaps it's a sign of sophistication. You know, as Sean Connery, this morning I had a book land on my head, and I can only blame myself.
See, so if there's gray hair, what's your perception about it that you want to share?
So if you wake up and you notice a gray hair, there's a number of different ways you can attach or observe any of the thoughts that come up, right? Or like one thought or wave that'll come by is like, oh crap, I'm getting old. I'm getting gray hairs, crap. How does that thought feel in your body? It's like,
all of a sudden you buy into the conscious collective story.
Right.
Yeah.
And as soon as you attach to that or identify with that thought, then it feels crappy in the body and it lowers the vibration. And then if you want, you can pull out of that wave, that thought, and go back to the seat of consciousness and say, you know, I'm gonna choose a wave or a thought that feels a little better in my body. So he can say, you know, it works for Sean Connery. He's got gray hair and chicks jig him.
He's hot, totally, right? And it's wisdom.
Yeah,
and it was actually, I was telling, because we started talking about this, because this is something that's actually been coming through me recently, is we've been talking about our journeys. We haven't seen each other for a couple months, me traveling the country. And I was sharing with him how I'm committed to being in a place of just creating from my essence. BK, I love you. I will see you Sunday at Sun.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be back with all my peeps. So I was telling Charles how it was probably like 10 years ago or so that I started to really understand that we have this collective belief system, right? Of like, we get older, things stop working. And when I started to lean into it, I discovered that no, actually that's so bass backwards. The truth is, we actually regenerate new cells every day. We recreate new organs every year.
Yep.
Like, we're constantly regenerating and renewing and recreating. So it's like, no, actually, I'm younger every day. And when I looked for that evidence to be true, I found it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I literally, because my belief system became I'm younger every day, I started actually, the word 20, or the age, the number 20 is just something I use in I use it in all my passwords. I use it in everything, because at that time, it was years ago, I started saying, I feel 20, I feel 20, I'm 20, I'm young, I'm younger every day. And I literally became to know it, that when people would ask me my age, I'd go, because I'm 20 would come out. Like, I'm 20, and I'd go,
remember,
oh wait,
yeah.
how young am I? And I'd have to figure it out.
Right.
And then I started to realize, or you look at pictures, you go back through my past, it's like I look 10 years younger than I did 10 years ago. And I still consistently now have people that will be like, oh, I just saw you speaking on stage. I got this the other day. You look years younger than I saw you a couple years ago when you were speaking at Harvard. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I continue to get younger every day. So, like, you're so knowledgeable with the body and in depth with the body. What would you say are some of the truths that people could hear, and evidence that obviously of how the body actually works, other than maybe what I shared?
Yeah, so the simplest terms is, as humans, we tend to want to hold on to things. We tend to hold on to resistance. We're like, I don't want it to leave.
We have an addiction to struggle.
Yeah.
Right?
So when you fall victim to that, oh, I'm just getting old, and you throw in the towel and into that belief, then what happens is your body is following suit with that vibration. That's what you're telling your cells. Yes. So you're going to find proof that that's true.
Yeah.
However, the opposite's true. When you feel and you know that you can get younger every day, it's a mindset, and then your body adjusts accordingly. Your cells are like, oh, I know this program. Cool. And you give yourself a timeout. That can maybe meditation, that's breath work, that's like Epsom salt bath, just floating in the ocean, anything.
We're gonna go jump in the ocean. I'm about to strip, throw in a bikini, and we're going.
It's calling us in, a little ocean cleanse.
And then acro yoga on the beach, right?
It's a pretty rough day here in paradise. So
our norm.
When you tune in to that, all we do is let go of resistance. Then our body, our cells already know how to get back into alignment. We just need to get out of our own way.
Wow, I love that you said that, because our true self, our highest awareness, always knows what we require. And the funny thing is, everyone for years, people are always like, how's your hair so shiny? How do you look like you stepped off of a shampoo commercial? I got that one the other day. That was new.
Nice.
And I always say, I'm like, it's my divinity. And you, even when you first saw me, you're like, you're so shiny.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did I say?
Glowing,
and I was like, well, I am divine.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just being me.
I'm being me. I'm being my own divine self. And, think awesome. Even the fact that we were talking about this earlier, right? Like, I have all these beautiful words on my water bottle that goes with me everywhere, because it's literally soaking in this divine, this energy of these words. And that's what I'm drinking. And my body is 70% water, somewhere around there, 90% in your brain. So just like he's saying about talking to your cells or reaffirming for yourself. Now, if it's something that you're just bullshitting yourself with, it doesn't really work. Yet if you're like, man, you know what, how am I younger every day? And we go, hey, evidence says I build new cells every day. I have 2 meditations, we talked about this, how that literally are talking to your cells. They're retraining your cells, they're retraining your mind. So even when you do what Charles just said, which is just, you're like, oh, that's interesting. I had this story or this thought from society that said that, like, oh, my body's gonna shut down. It's gonna get harder. I mean, these stories apply in every place, because I know as I became the Body Mind Mentor on ABC4, so many people were like, oh, but you must have not had kids. I'm like, had 2 children.
I got
bitches.
2 kids, and everybody thinks they're my brothers.
So, and it was like, for me, I got to stand as that evidence that the body naturally works. It is meant to be a fat burning machine. It's meant to, like, support us, and it had nothing to do with me having babies. So that was something I felt very passionate about back in the day, of being like, no, that's just a bullshit story. You were told that you couldn't do this or that, or that having babies changes your body. So realize that the same thing with youth and age, right? It's when you decide, oh, like, I am meant to just function and flow and have energy, and this is my norm. So how could I step forward and create that? Whether it be changing the thought that came through and being like, silly thought, I'm actually younger every day. How do I feel? How can I feel young right now, right?
Exactly.
We have the ability to change our cells and our structure. And that's why, I mean, do
and
we know the ages? Did anyone guess?
Anybody
anyone
guess?
Charles?
Anyone want to guess ages? We
Real
got Melissa
age.
on here. What's
We
up,
got
Melissa?
so many good, amazing friends, I'm sure. Look
Give
at
me,
that.
give me a wave.
So
Give
many
me some
peeps.
hearts.
Look, Oliver
Give us
said,
some love.
Oliver says, see, look, my peeps will give tons of hearts. Saw Charles with Kevin the other day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's quick plug. Kevin and I are offering this weekend,
that.
this Saturday, we're offering
Like
a
a-
self-healing play shop.
I'm going to be there.
So Marci's gonna be there. We're gonna have such a cool, it's a high vibe tribe,
Yep.
and we're organizing this to empower our community.
Yep.
So we want to give you tools, techniques, strategies, easy things you can do for
Yep.
self-soothing, self-healing, and of course there's going to be a lot of play so that we can activate your genius.
And I love that you're even talking about that, because tools, right? As we learn these tools, just like shifting the thought and let me focus on this and let me put intention into everything I'm doing. Like we were like blessing our food all up. What did we do for our food?
Yeah.
Hang on. We got a little bit of
Take
air
a breath.
travel.
Take a breath. We got airplane.
Sex noises.
Yeah, airplanes and trains are a reminder to take a deep breath and an orgasm.
Check it. See, did you add the orgasm part for me?
I let you take that one. It's better to let the girl go
It was
first.
so good. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Good boy.
I'm a gentleman. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what was I saying? Then we got distracted. With
All right,
orgasms
we got
and I
super distracted.
totally goes the other way. Tools.
Yes,
Okay.
tools.
So tools and techniques, ways that we can support ourselves in being able to have, a new frequency to operate from a different state. So obviously you're doing that, and you said play.
Yeah.
So when we were doing our food, what did we do over our food today?
All right, instead of oming, we yum it.
Should we do it?
Yum.
And then we said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all the plants and animals and Gaia and all the everything going into this, and that it goes into our bodies and heals our bodies and gives us everything we require, and everything gets returned to Gaia.
Boom.
Just like that, and we put pure intention into our food that goes in our system, our water that goes into our system, our thoughts, our perceptions, everything is focused on, of course I'm a divine being. If I see evidence outside of that, I get to check myself before I wreck myself.
Check yourself.
Do you like that? I just
like that. Let's see, it's free flow.
Check
Now you
myself before I
know.
wreck myself, because I'm a divine being of light.
I'm a divine being, if you know what I mean.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we're so good.
Yeah, we'll
So
even bless donuts. You can take
well,
an
we
airplane.
do have chocolate on our face,
Yeah, so we had a organic Reese's Pieces giant peanut butter cup we split, and some of it ended up on our third eye.
I had a peanut butter heart on my nose, and then I walked back in to like the serving area, and all these people were like,
Yeah, she's nosy.
but they didn't come, they didn't say anything to me.
No.
They didn't be like, miss, you have peanut butter on your nose. I was just like, oh, so interesting to
Yeah,
see.
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
so,
you would have told me.
So we can put the highest of intention and vibration into anything that goes in this temple.
Yes.
This is the greatest technology on the planet, so we deserve the best.
Yes.
So instead of eating a donut with the feelings of guilt and like
I'm
blame
glad you're
and
going
like,
there.
it's like
Yeah.
all that's gonna do is make it really confusing for your cells in your body to digest
Yes.
that. It's like, oh, we got
Yeah.
the feeling of guilt here going in while we're trying to digest
Shame,
this.
blame.
That's
Yeah.
that's what we cause all kinds of digestive
And
issues.
there's a whole gamut of like my journey through the body, like healing with the body, from it's like, hey, I'm worthy of living in a rockin' body of health, so of course I align to the behaviors that like taking care of my body, feeding my body well, getting to exercise. And then I moved into this state of understanding cellular restructure, DNA activation, commanding in my cells to operate the way that I want to, and I align to like, my body is an effortless, like I'm a divine vessel. This vessel is here to effortlessly operate, and I could tell it what to do, and then I got to lose the story of that it had to be a certain way. Like I went from like, oh, of course I got to get in my workout every day, to I'd go down in the jungles of Colombia and I'd be places literally no working out at all for like a week to two, and I would come out more shredded, more aligned, more like, oh yeah, because
more
I told my
flexible,
body.
more open.
Yeah, totally. And so then it then became the like going to a place of going, there is no, I literally can command my body to do whatever I want. And it doesn't mean I go, well, I'm going to just eat shit food then, because what's the vibration of that? And a lot of times people are reaching for the shit food because they're seeking something outside of themselves. They're seeking you know, to be fulfilled, to distract, etc. Yet when you align to going, you know, like, some sweet food we get to enjoy, we totally played with it. We're like, well, I was like, this is like the biggest thing of chocolate I've had in forever.
Yeah, it's so
and
good.
we have the space to do that, right?
It goes right to my hips and my biceps.
Yeah.
Right where I want it.
Add it to the nugget, right there, right?
I like to twerk it off.
Oh, you should twerk.
Yeah.
Let me see you
We've been
twerk.
twerking. We've been twerking hard.
And guys, we, you know, obviously we don't act our age according to society because we don't live in that realm or that understanding or that collective agreement. We're both playing it up all over the world, living in passion. So play, you said play, and I was like, that's another one, okay? Play. How important is play?
Huge. And think about how all that resistance I was talking about earlier, all this resistance we hold on to, it's the thoughts of, I need to do something, I need to do, I need to go, I need to get this done, blah, blah, blah. All that's creating a vibration in the body of stress, resistance, holding on. So those moments when you just let loose and you let your 5-year-old inner child.
Not even those moments. Like, can you align to just letting life be play?
Boom. And then everything, you laugh more, you're open to more joy. Like, you're letting joy, our natural state and feelings, just flow in. And that's when you are open to all these amazing downloads and information in the ether you'll pop with like this, oh my God, I got this brilliant idea.
Yeah. And I love that. I want the other day, someone I saw, like, you know, I'd see things with Gary Vaynerchuk and people would always ask me to talk about it because, like, he was like, go, you have to sacrifice. Right. And I was like, that's totally okay. That's perfect for someone to choose. I don't align to that because I know that actually when I'm the highest vibration, I effortlessly produce. I'd create $1 million clients, etc. And I wasn't out there struggling or, you know, doing any of that. And when you say, like, you know, getting into that vibrational play, I saw something the other day where someone said you have to have that the struggle part of it, or you have to have that to be able to produce. And I was like, I call bullshit for myself personally, because what I was telling Charles, and it was funny the question you asked me, I was like, I was committed to just literally, I let go of everything. I let go of personal coaching, I let go of masterminds, retreats, everything, and handed over everything to my team and said, my commitment, what I got called to do is go be in my aloneness, allow all this, like, being with my essence, and whatever is in my essence to come forth, I only create from a space of it's coming through me from my essence. It's not even a high-level entrepreneur that's passionate about purpose in the world, but it's some degree we're like, well, okay, I'll create that out of some form of have to pay the bills, to be validated, to fulfill your purpose. All of those things are still, can I completely allow myself to just be? And just be in my essence and come from that space and let all the stories and things come up and heal through that. That's been my intention. And what happened?
And when in those then when you allow all that to go and you just be, then all of a sudden something hits you and it's called inspired action.
Yes.
And then you can add your play and your inspiration into.
I created a book when, like, I don't know, it was like 2 months, 2.5 months that I was gone.
Amazing.
That's an editing phase, you know, and then now I'm getting all this divine, I'm still just flooded with these things that I'm feeling called to share and called to create. So it's like, when I allowed that space, everything effortlessly came through me at such a big degree that there is no struggle, there's no force, there's no fight to it, and that is creation energy. When we're allowing, like, the play, the kundalini, all of that to come forth. So that's a big part of it. It's just, and this guy is so epic at play, like so epic at, I mean, you have a whole thing about vacation vibration, right? Like, everything is a vacation vibration. Don't you love that? Wait.
So good. Big breath.
So good. So vacation vibration, if you think about this concept that Charles is sharing all the time about living in vacation vibration, it's like, if you go on vacation for a week, you're like so intent on, like, okay, I'm gonna, like, disconnect, I'm gonna channel out, I'm gonna, like, relax, I'm gonna be in this vibe, and taking that into your everyday life. So last time we hung out, we did this whole thing around eating our food where it was like, close our eyes, we, like, fed each other a bite, and we got to, like, literally guess what was in it and, like, feel the sensations of it, and we just relished in, like, everyday things.
Maximizing the sensory input to something that we do every day. So creating an entirely new experience at a place and foods that you've already had before.
So can you see why somebody even guessed 32? And I bet you guys are trying to guess higher because I said obviously he looks so young, and he's actually, like, that's still way off.
Ah, shucks.
And that's what's so great about this is, can you imagine choosing that intention of play when we were driving. I said, how much more joy can I experience? And I put my hand out the window and I was like, oh, that feels good.
Yeah.
Like we're just, and being in this place of this is the highest priority. When your vibration and frequency is the highest priority, you can see why this guy looks so young. And I think I look pretty good too.
It's twerking. It's twerking. It's evidence.
It is twerking.
Cass, my brother's on here. What's
awesome.
up, bro? I miss you. I get to go see you next
weekend, you told
celebrate
me,
you and all our little brothers,
we love little brothers.
sisters. I feel you. Throw some hearts out there. And so basically,
we have one more though. I have one more. But I mean, as you're saying things, it's reminding me of stuff. There's one more.
All right.
Breath.
Yes.
Because you were, even as we stopped, it was like,
power of breath. Yes.
Like, and we're letting this energy move through us. Breath work. And you're an expert in breath work. So again,
My
evidence,
passion.
right? So share with us maybe how breath work makes you assist your body and helps you stay young.
So most of us, when we're operating in a sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight mode, which is the mind chatter of I gotta be doing, we're breathing about this deep. We get to about right here, and it's usually like a vertical breath. Like, you know, you say take a deep breath. How many people do you see their shoulders like, whoo? Yeah. What about breathing like this? Like in every direction, just super expansion. So this is what I teach. Very simple, easy expansion breath. It's very experiential. So you can literally change your state and your nervous system to whatever you want to get to.
So
like
good.
say you're fatigued and you have to get this project done. You can use your breath to get there. I
So
teach
fast.
breath of fire. Boom. All of a sudden it's better than having a cup of coffee because you have clarity instead of the jitters, and you can crush that project. Or if you've been going, now it's time for a little regeneration and let your bodies, your cell heal. Then do some alternate nasal breathing or a little pranayama and some expansion breathing that we teach. And then watch your nervous system just calm down, relax, just be. It's
so good.
It's beautiful.
My nervous system, guys, I mean, and obviously when I get going in training, or, you know, it's like, I'm a fast talker and there's a lot coming through, yet my nervous system used to always be like this. Like, you know, even if I sat down and meditated at night, it was like I could feel my body shaking inside.
Yeah.
And through the years of like learning to be with myself and sit and breathe and do breath work that moved it. And I do Kriya every morning now. Like Kriya is like hands down always a part of my morning.
Yep.
Do Kriya breathing. I do a little pranayama. I love BK. I know she's on here. I love her little process of going through pranayama, and she does breath of fire and all that. And you the whole, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm like vibrating in my divinity.
Yes.
And it just opens up. So there's such a big piece to that. And actually, we would love to know, I've been tapping into this with Charles. I have a whole series of meditations I felt really called to create, going, you know, into perfect client attraction, all sorts of things that I'm wanting to share for my peeps. And I told Charles, I was like, I feel like we get to do like a series of breath work.
Yep.
You know, so if you guys are like, yes, breath work, having some support with that, because it is such a powerful tool. You don't, now, like you said, you don't have to go to a cup of coffee or anything outside of you. You have the capacity to actually open up your vessels and your clarity and everything else. It's like you shut down your breath. That's what you've been trained to do. You can actually train yourself to open back up and breathe, and it moves that energy through you, so you're not now imprinting your system with more negative shit. You're just adding more layers of stuff that you've got to heal, because every single thing you experience, you're doing this versus interesting.
Yeah, creating space
that.
for some greatness to flow in.
Yeah,
you know?
so
like the power of breath. This is what we want to share with you guys. So if you're interested, we are putting together a program to offer to you guys, and just to empower you with these simple tools to getting younger every day.
Definitely feeling called to share the youngerness. Did you like that?
Youngerness.
The younger awesomeness every day.
New terms, new words, new feelings.
Yeah.
So give us some thumbs up and some hearts if you are interested in feeling younger.
Yeah, with me being here the next couple weeks, what we're looking at doing is maybe creating some time for some epic videos, sharing not only the behavioral things. This is what I feel really called to do, because obviously, like, we take care of ourselves, we do these things behaviorally, and the understanding to, you know, do the root stuff. That makes the difference, that creates this change. And I could literally look around at like so many of my close friends. Look, hearts like galore. Craziness. Yeah, I knew it. This was just something that was coming through me. And honestly, you guys, at first I I don't want to say I fought it, because I'm always like, okay, I'm open, let me sit with this. But I kept getting that I got to do something around, you know, aligning to getting younger every day. And it's like the collective is ready for it or seeking it.
Yep.
Again, I like to, new language
Tune in.
comes through me. And I kind of was like, you know, that's so surface compared to what I do. I go so deep and so galactic and so spiritual. I was kind of like, that seems so surface. And I kept getting the same thing. It was like, no, the masses and the collective is ready to have this. Like, of course, we go, oh, you know, I really want to look younger. I want to feel better about myself. And even though it's coming from maybe a place of lack or limitation, or I'm not enough, or you're not knowing your full worth, that's a step, and you going, hey, I want to feel worthy. And when you come into that space and we can actually get clear on what really is happening, is why you're aligning to getting younger every day, that it's not just a bunch of surface, here's a product bullshit. It's actually aligning your life to living in your true essence and this vibration, and how to do that. Not just, hey guys, go, like, not just the rah. Some of this is like, hey, we want to actually allow you to see what's happening below the surface, so that you can align to that, and then have those beautiful beneficial behavioral things, such as breath work, and this is how to do it, such as this is what you do morning and night. This is where we create that, so that you too, and I mean, I'm like even talking like, you know, the real
thank you for the reminder, airplane.
Yes, thank you. I'm even talking about
airplanes
sharing
and trains.
the
Good
stuff
reminders
we do,
to breathe.
right? Like for our skin, for whatever. So there's just lots of goodness that's kind of coming through. I'm like, well, you know, I'm here for 3 weeks, so if this feels good, then it all flows, which we're looking at. So if you guys would love to be a part of that, then let us know. More hearts, more loving.
Stay connected. We want to take all these esoteric, amazing concepts and ancient wisdom and break them down into the simplest form for you to apply and use. It's easily digestible, so that you can be empowered to feel your greatest you.
Yes, the greatest you. So good. Cool. Well, we're gonna go do that.
Yes, the ocean calls.
Ocean is calling.
Dun, da, da.
Dun, da, da. Ocean is calling. Stripping down. Acro yoga.
Yeah, we're
probably more yummy food.
Yeah, maybe skinny dipping to get out of our comfort zone, just to see how long we can last on this beach before they get us in trouble.
I think they'll like it. I don't think they're gonna have a problem
Lifeguards
with
would
it.
be like,
Hey. Yes. Oh, should we tell them your real age?
Okay. Any more guesses? Last guesses?
We had a guess of
got a
32. I don't know that we got any more guesses. Let's see.
What else we got on here?
We got so many amazing peeps on here. I love you guys.
Katia, what's happening? I see you hopping on here. I see the hearts. Everybody, wow, this is great.
I think
everybody's afraid to guess.
Yeah,
I get
they're
it.
afraid to guess. Okay. Totally, I understand. Yeah, well, you want to share?
Drum roll, please.
He is
39.
39 years young.
I'll be 40 in February. How about that?
Me too. Well, not 40.
Yeah.
I'll be 39 in February.
Nice.
I'll be 30. I'm 38 years young right now.
It feels good. Embracing.
Feels so good. We're so high on life. Can you tell? I mean,
it's
like,
contagious. I hope you're feeling this, because we can't contain it all in these bodies. So we just wanted to share it.
We're
Hop
about
on
to go
here.
explode on
Give
people.
you guys some loving.
Yes.
We love you. Have the best day ever. Enjoy your vacation vibration.
That's right.
And stay tuned for our upcoming program to help
More
empower you
youngness,
stay
more
young.
awesomeness. Love you guys.
More youngness coming your way.
Prosperous is yours. Choose your best life. Charles Clay.
Ciao.